If you came across this today, my friend, there's something you need to know. I want to let you know that the time has come for you to decide. And you need to decide that there is something very important you need to do. You have to do it. You've been contemplating about it. You've been thinking deeply, should I or shouldn't I? And you've been scared and you've been in your mind like, oh no, if I do, it's a scary place out there. Yeah, we get there sometimes, right? But the thing is, there is no space in between. You either do it or don't. I want to read something to you that I've written down and it inspired me. Hey, let's talk about it with you. Let's talk about it. The time for excuses is over. Now either you do it or you don't. There's no in between anymore. If you start, a path will reveal itself to you. But if you don't, you will feel as though you've wasted an opportunity. The opportunity isn't somewhere out there. It's in your decision to make the most out of where you are with what you have. Be ready to stretch your creativity as far as possible. So the present problem transforms into a meaningful unfolding. Yeah, into a meaningful unfolding, my friend. You don't see it yet. You don't see it yet because you're way too much out there, up there. Yeah, up there, up here. And maybe a bit too little here because heart is here right now in the present moment and it says to you, through a feeling that usually resides between one thought and another, you just sense, let's do it. Let's do it. That's what you feel. It's not your mind. Your mind goes into potential breakdowns, into potential failures, into potential mistakes, but your heart is like, whatever. It's all an experience anyway, and aren't we here for it? Aren't we here for physical experiences? Don't you have a body for a physical experience? Why are you so afraid? Why are you so scared? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know why. It just bothers me. Yeah, it bothers me. But is it an indication that you should hide from new experiences and do only what's familiar to you? No. No, my friend, it's not. It only bothers you because you know you can do it, but it's scary. And it's scary because it may happen, it may turn into a negative experience. But is a negative experience a bad experience? Maybe. Maybe. But if you find a wisdom in it, is it still bad? Or it actually took you upward spiral? Then it's questionable, right? So remember, you only see what you aim for. Those who aim for nothing will find nothing worthy of their efforts. That is powerful. That is very powerful, my friend. Those who aim for nothing will find nothing worthy of their efforts. And then people are walking around like there's no meaning in anything. Completely cynical. Saying like, it's not worth it. It's meaningless. But, well, maybe it's completely meaningless. But how can you know that if you don't try? How can you know it's meaningless if you don't try? How can you know that traveling the world is meaningless if you don't go and travel the world? How can you know that starting a new endeavor is meaningless if you don't start and let it teach you? How can you know? Well, your mind pretends to know everything, but to most things we are blind. To most things we are blind, my friend. Jesus said, and that's powerful what he said, I'm not getting into religion, but this is a powerful wisdom. Jesus said, the kingdom of Father is spread into the world, but most people will not see it. Why? Because we only see what we focus on. And most people are actually focused on their past. Most people are focused on their beliefs. Most people are focused on what they've been told about the nature of life. So when we question our understanding of the nature of life, we don't even know where to start, because we don't even know what is the nature of life according to what we've heard or seen. We just know our experiences, we know our memories, and that's all. But are your memories everything there is? Maybe they're less than 1% of everything there is. So therefore, when you're cynical about life and you think like nothing is meaningful, sometimes we feel like that, especially when we start comparing ourselves with others. Like, I remember when I started painting and I had no idea about art, about other artists, nothing of that. So when I've started painting, I've seen, oh, it's going well. It's going great, until I went on Instagram and started looking what other people are doing, and then suddenly I was like, oh, my work is so bad. It's meaningless. It's not worth it to even keep going with it because other people are so much more talented. That's what I thought. Because we recognize that even though I start today, someone somewhere else is doing it for many, many years, and therefore that person is so much better than me, and we lose all the drive. You see, we are living in a time where you're not just comparing yourself with your neighbors and your friends and your family members. You're comparing yourself with the whole world, because we're all connected on social media and internet. So suddenly that inner dialogue, inner critic became so much more empowered, right? And that's why you're sabotaging yourself. That's why I'm saying to you, you don't know much, you don't see much. You see these glimpses of stories and photos and videos from other people, but hey, you will never have your own experiences if you don't walk your own path. One productive solution is just stop looking them. Stop looking what's been created, and you will find your own creative spark that will take you on a path that's different. But you don't know how different it is because you haven't walked it yet. So why would you hold yourself back right now if at the first place you're craving it, right? You're craving it, I know you do. So why would you hold yourself back right now? You see, the thing is that we don't see what's about to happen, only so it would surprise us. But yeah, we are a bit afraid of negative surprises because we think they're bad. When we lose money, we think it's bad. When we're not capable of paying bills, yeah, it's quite a tough situation. But it's even tougher to stay there forever, isn't it? It's much worse to have bad situation over and over again because we don't do anything. It's much worse than just risking something. The worst thing that can happen to you is for you to decide to stay at a miserable place willingly, right? So the best solution, therefore, is to keep looking at how can you make the most out of where you are right now with what we have. And sometimes people say to me, I will start on it when I will have more money, when things in my life will change. And sometimes I feel like a jar of boiling water, like, what are you doing? I understand it. I understand you, my friend. And I can only understand this because Well, I've been thinking that as well. Like, I will start working on it when this thing becomes successful. But then it never became successful. Before I was doing this YouTube channel, I've started another YouTube channel where I've been posting some meditation musics, and sometimes I went into nature and I've been recording some sounds and I've been posting that. And I said when this will be successful, then I will devote myself to what I truly want to do. But because it was not something I was really passionate about, it never succeeded. I was not even driven to keep doing that. So I was not driven to keep feeding that process, and therefore obviously it failed. It failed because it was not really my thing. So what I did was something very painful but incredible. What I did was that me and Maya, my partner, we decided to quit our jobs. It was back in 2017. Towards the end of the year, we decided to quit our jobs. We've saved some money. So we knew, okay, we have enough for a couple of weeks, months actually, for a couple of months to find out what we truly want to do. And when I quitted my job, I got this incredible drive. I want to start drawing, and something I've shared with you in the previous video. You can watch that video if you want to know more about this. But the story that I will share right now is something that many of you are not familiar, because there's many of new people here. So when we quitted our jobs, we went to travel. We went to Spain, to Catalonia, if I'm more precise. It's the area around Barcelona. Very beautiful place. We've been there through winter, because I actually wanted to go all in with the sport I was doing back at the time, freestyle mountain biking. I decided I will go all in. I had few sponsors. I've been competing a little bit, and for Slovenia it was great, but I wanted to go all in. But as soon as I quitted my job, that passion for drawing returned. So I was like, oh, maybe I will not go all in with the sport. Maybe I will rather investigate this other passion of mine that feels so real and so authentic and so easy. It felt easy to me because it was like a naturally born thing for me to draw, to just create things out of my mind. Like, I get an idea and I can easily draw it. I've started posting it on Instagram. We had 30 followers, and a huge hotel company contacted us from that place if I would go there and draw their offices. 30 followers. Do you need much to begin? No. But do you need to begin to have much to create more? Yes. But then you need to go kinda all in. Even if it's a side project, go all in and try all possible ways, because we've been moving, we've been traveling. I said I have nothing to lose until we've lost all of our money and we needed to sleep in our car. So we've lost everything. Like, we've lost everything we thought that is bringing us security, but we still survived. We've been there sleeping in a car, and then I've been drawing in a car. And when we've been through this kind of phase in our lives where we really needed to figure out how we will make money, how we will survive, the only thing that was in my mind was keep creating, keep doing this. You see, when you're in a situation where there's like no possible idea to know how something will work out, your heart becomes very, very loud. Like, their fear is loud, but also heart becomes loud, because there is no other way than to trust and then to surrender and then to work really, really hard, even if it takes all day long dedication just for that craft of yours, because you know that, well, it must succeed into something, it must turn into something. So yeah, then for 1 month we've been sleeping in that car, and all I've been doing was drawing and thinking and posting photos on the Instagram, and yeah, still if you go on my Instagram page, AttractPassion Art, if you scroll down to the first posts, you will find those photos from that time. Go and check it out and give me a follow. So when I was doing that, I've noticed that weird synchronicities started happening. It was not because, we had no money, we had nothing, but we started. I don't want to say to you that you should do something like that. I would actually never suggest anyone to do something like that because it was a bit crazy and weird and quite scary. But it shaped us in a way that I know most people will not decide to do something like that. So yeah, experience is unique. But that was to me the greatest guide on a spiritual journey, because I've noticed when I lose everything, I'm still not lost. There's still guidance. When everything is taken away from me, I'm still not left alone with nothing. I still have something. I have knowledge. I have skills. I have wisdom, and I can evolve it without anything. I can evolve my knowledge, my skills, my wisdom without money. So I've recognized, well, this is something that can't be taken from me, and I can evolve it without having anything. Isn't that powerful? Yes. That's what all of us can do. Like now in the age of internet, you can find free books on the internet. You can find free knowledge. You go on YouTube, you find free guidance. You don't need much, but because everything became so easily accessible, we don't appreciate it anymore. We don't value it anymore. We think someone should appear like an angel figure and place its hand onto your head and give you all the knowledge and wisdom and money and everything so you would be free. But well, it actually gives you this kind of guidance. Sometimes it comes to you through me or through anyone else. Say to you, hey, you can do it. You already have everything it takes. So then through synchronicities, we got some money and we said we need another sign to return back home. And then somebody robbed into our car, took Maya's purse with all her documents. So we needed to call the police station, like somebody robbed into our car and took all her documents, and they were like, oh, well, most probably you will not get them back. So you need to go to a certain place and make new ones. And then 1 hour later, they called us back and they said, we got all your documents back. Someone found them under the road and bring them to us. And we were like, oh, thank you. But the thing was, the sign here was that I needed to call the insurance company for the window that was broken, obviously, on my car. And they said to me, well, we can fix it for free, but you need to come back to Slovenia in order to make it happen. And we were like, oh, thank you. Then I guess this is the sign that we need to go back to Slovenia. And then before we started, we went into a grocery store to buy some food for the traveling back home. And there was the last package of acrylic colors. Just somewhere, like someone would throw it somewhere there. I bought it, and that was the first, acrylic color package that with which I've started. So that's how I've started seeing this kind of signs and synchronicities that took me to where I am today. That's why I know that we don't need much to start, but we need to be creative. And sometimes we choose not to be creative because we rather stay stuck in a willingly blind state of being, where we choose not to see opportunities because we know we will need to change in order to make it happen, and we rather don't change than suffer for our purpose. And suffer for purpose, I mean that yes, most probably you will suffer because you want fast results, or you want things to change fast, or you want that all the breakthroughs would just follow easily like a stream of a river. But you will need to be a bit more persistent, And you will need to be a bit more patient. And why? People are wondering why it is like that. Well, so you would learn to cultivate faith. So you would learn to cultivate trust. Some people look at it as, I trust God. Some people look at it, I trust universe. And some people are like, just, I trust myself. If you're not into spirituality or religion or any of that, you will still say, I trust myself. But if you don't want to cultivate trust, then you will avoid any growth. You will avoid any process. That's why I wanted to remind you today, there is no time anymore to be somewhere in between, indecisive, because those who are indecisive, they just don't want to decide, because each decision is already a change, and change holds within a potential pain, because it will introduce you to something unexpected and something unfamiliar. And unfamiliar can be what you don't want, just because you would like to stay safe. But well, there is no place really to be safe, because even when you are safe in the comfort zone, you can easily lose it. Or you've devoted yourself to keep doing something you hate doing so you can maintain it. Nothing wrong with it. But the choice is always, do you want to stay there, or do you want to devote yourself into a certain process that will eventually take you much further than you ever thought possible, but you will get there through faith, through courage, through trust, because there's just something deeper you're not aware of yet, and it will take you there. But sometimes you need to really push the boundaries of what you think that is possible for you by consistently tapping into that unfamiliar field, by trying it over and over again. When you start a craft or an art business or any kind of a business, most of the time it's unsuccessful because you just don't know what else you need to know. So you're trying and experimenting and calling people and sending emails, and you're like, nothing works. But keep doing it for the next 5 to 10 years. I bet something will. Something will. And eventually you will come so much further than maybe with your present lifestyle. Will it be fun? Yes. Will it be painful? Yes. Will it cause you to suffer? Yes. But will it provide you growth that eventually will help you to heal all that suffering, because you will see it as wisdom, not as pain? Yes, it will happen. So the question is it worthy? The answer is yes. But are you ready for it? The answer is most probably no. But should you start even though you're not ready? The answer is yes, of course. Because the path will make you ready. Otherwise, you will never be ready. You need to know that the obstacle becomes the path. Because sometimes, or usually most of the time, the obstacle is not really something out there. It's your own insecurity. And that insecurity of yours is the fear of losing security because of getting yourself into something completely new that obviously potentially will create so much more than just a sense of security. It will create a sense of purpose and a deep sense of passion. You don't need to leave present security behind. That's why you shouldn't be so insecure. You can do both things until this side one starts growing. And then eventually you go all in. But your mind needs to adapt to that new path. Emotionally, you need to get more in resonance with your new life, which means that you start letting go of all this resentment and judgment and obsession over fear and doubts and all of this. You don't just stop feeling it, but you need to give your new self a chance. You need to give your future self a chance to experience more. And the way you give your future self a chance to experience more is through forgiveness to your past self. Like, forgive to yourself that you've been holding yourself back Forgive to yourself that you've been so scared. Forgive to yourself that you've been so weak sometimes. And forgive to yourself that you've been so pushy and so forceful sometimes, because it brought to you a lot of suffering. Forgive to yourself that you haven't tried. Forgive to yourself that you've tried and haven't stayed consistent with trial. Forgive to yourself that you've been avoiding errors. Forgive to yourself that you had no idea what to say to strangers. Forgive to yourself that you had no idea where to find solutions, and therefore you were not looking for them. Because your future self already understands that you're capable of all of this. But yes, sometimes you will be exposed to your deepest insecurities, especially maybe when you will meet unfamiliar people and you will not know what to say to them. Or you will go to places where you feel embarrassed and you will need to find out how to handle it. It may happen sometimes, but that's how you develop a muscle you had no idea that exists within you. Sometimes people say, I'm so shy. But you're so shy because that sense of being shy hasn't evolved into courage yet. And courage only says, well, I'm here, but you need to practice me. It says, well, you will become confident, but firstly, be willing to be without confidence. And keep doing it, and I will appear. I will grow. Like biceps will not grow without training it, right? The potential is there, but training is your act. Consistent training is your responsibility. And then results will become your destiny. That's how it works. So, yeah, you can stop avoiding everything that's necessary for you so that destiny of yours can be revealed to you. It's the destination you choose for yourself. That's why we call it destiny, right? The path will reveal itself to you once you start walking it. So either you do it or don't. There's no place in between anymore, my friend. I hope you found a great value in today's message. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. And thanks to everyone for choosing to support my art in our store, AttractPassion.com, or its store, AttractPassion. On AttractPassion.com, today is the last day to get 20% off sale on all of my art, prints of my art. So go and check it out if any of it resonates with you. It's maybe for you. It has something to say to you. Check it out. Each painting has its own story, its own philosophy, so yeah, check it out. And also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content, community chat, and all of this. Thank you so much, my friends. Stay connected. Stay, yes, aligned with that inner guide, inner heart, whatever is your name, that is knocking on the doors of your mind like, shut up and do what I say. That's how it speaks to you sometimes. So listen to it, my friend. Till next time, one love.